How's it going, guys? My name is BobaTalks and welcome to the Gotham Season 4 Q&A. Now, this is a generalized Q&A and I'm thinking of doing a couple of parts so these videos aren't mega long, but it means I can kind of stretch them out until Season 5 amongst all kinds of other Season 5 videos. So I think there is around 16 questions in this Q&A. I might not answer all of them. Sometimes I can't fit them all in. But either way, I'm excited to kind of talk about some of these. I asked you guys to post in my community tab about anything you wanted to ask me in Season 4. And maybe some Season 5 stuff. I also want to apologize, I haven't been uploading properly in the past week. I've just been going through quite a bit of personal stuff. I know you guys will understand anyway. It's just I wanted to kind of let you guys know why I haven't been doing the normal rate of videos I do. But I also want to say thank you very much for 20,000 subscribers. I really am so thankful for that. I obviously plan on doing a 20k video soon. It's not going to be out anytime right in the next couple of days, but hopefully next week. I plan to launch merch and all kinds of things, so I'm really excited to do that video. But anyway, guys, I guess we should get into the questions. But before I do, I want to say if you're brand new to this channel and you want to see more Gotham videos and other comic book nerdy stuff on other shows and movies and all kinds of things, why not subscribe to this channel for more content like that and hit the notification button and click notifications all the time, because otherwise, yeah, I don't think YouTube notifies you. And of course, everybody hit that like button and share this video with your friends if you think it would be interested. So, number one question is from Austin, and he asks, what are your thoughts on Dent being absent from the show? Do you think we should get a Two-Face backstory in Season 5? Well, immediately what I'm going to say is, and I think a lot of people have missed this video of mine, or maybe it's just new subscribers. I actually did a whole video, I can't remember the title right now, and it was a little bit, I think it was during Season 4. But I made a whole video on Harvey Dent. Where is he? And I basically went into how I would love him in Season 5 if we got a Season 5, and now we know we have. But unfortunately, we're only getting 13 episodes. So my thoughts on Dent being absent from the show, I explain it in there, and I'll link that video in the description. But I will say, it kind of does suck a little bit. I definitely think we haven't had time for him in the past couple of seasons with what they've done. They couldn't have fit him in. You could argue they could have sacrificed some other things. However, my perfect Season 5 arc would have been, and as in this show, in this universe, the villains are kind of birthing Batman to come out, right? I didn't think it would have been too premature to make Harvey Dent into Two-Face, you know, before Bruce is actually Batman. I thought that would have been a cool, long Season 5 story arc. We see him, like, we've already seen him be a bit short-tempered in the show before. We've seen the coin. Do you know what I mean? It would have been really cool. But yeah, it does make me sad because since this is the 5th and final season, I could have easily imagined that happening in the show. However, that actor is busy on another show. I believe he is the lead for the other show. I think it was renewed for another season. I could be wrong, but I get a lot of people asking me all the time, where is the actor been, blah 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 blah, and I've always said, well, unless he stops that show, we're not going to see him, apart from unless the actor cameos, you know, like somehow Tommy Merlin comes on Arrow but he's busy on another show. That would be the best thing, unless they recasted him like they did with Firefly. But unfortunately, we're not going to get him on the show. I think it sucks. And as you can tell, I'm giving long-winded answers, but that's because, yeah, I plan to do lots of these Q&As. Would I have said yes beforehand, and not knowing what we know about what they're going to do in Season 5? I would have been like, yes. 22 episode run, I've already explained that, but not now. There's way too much they've got to fit in 13 episodes already, and that's concerning enough as it is, so. Panic Town, what a name, dude. I've seen a lot of comments questioning Jeremiah's demeanor. I am personally curious to know what you think. Do you believe that Jeremiah will stay calmly mad? I can't read for some reason. Or like some comments claim that he will snap. I definitely think that Jeremiah, and I've said this in a couple of my reviews or trailer breakdowns, that I definitely think we'll see the creaks of the snapping. I definitely thought they would have maintained this calm, chilling, Dark Knight Returns Joker vibe, because it's not unjokerly at all. I completely disagree with anybody who says that Jeremiah isn't Joker-like at all, because he just is. However, he's just not the typical and most, I would say, a majority of the fan base love the anarchic, chaotic, hee-hee-ha-ha-hoo-hoo kind of Jerome version. Now, I definitely think that the Dark Knight Returns Joker, he does obviously laugh quite a bit in the animation and in the comics and stuff like that. And I feel like we got a crack at Jeremiah. Do you remember when the bridge? What is going on with me, guys? Do you remember when the bridge blew up and that was the last we saw of Jeremiah, but he went like that? I felt like that was the crack at that. So I definitely think that Jeremiah, providing we get a bit more of him next season, which I do think we will, Hopefully, I'm pretty sure we will anyway, but I just can't confirm that. He will not necessarily snap, because I feel like this is the Joker we're getting with him, like a more chilling approach. But yeah, I think we'll see a bit more of the, I don't know, laugh maybe. But I definitely wouldn't bank on what, just remember that he isn't Jerome Valeska, basically. He's a different adaptation of this kind of Joker, even though he isn't the Joker according to the showrunners. But I've explained that, and maybe another question in this video might make me go into that a little bit more. But if you haven't seen my Jeremiah is definitely not the Joker video, I explain it there, because I know there's going to be some people in the comments below saying, what are you on about? Jeremiah is the Joker. What? But other than that, Panic Sam, I like the Demeanor. I definitely think I prefer the more anarchic, chaotic version, but at the end of the day, we're not going to get 4 seasons of Jeremiah to prove his worth up against Jerome. But instinctually and instantly, you think, oh yeah, I definitely kind of prefer Jerome's looniness, you know, and stuff like that. So I do love it. I do like the chillingness, but it's definitely, I think, not as popular amongst fans, or even amongst myself, really. But I definitely am not as hard on it as other people. Mr. J Plays asks, what do you think will happen to Ed and Lee now that Hugo Strange has them? Now, honestly, dude, I have no idea. All I know is that what I don't want to happen, and that is for them to be resurrected in a dumb, stupid way. You know what, in terms of the Batman 0 year stuff, and there is a question about that, I think maybe what Hugo might have to do with nursing specifically Riddler back to life, maybe Lee actually might be in combination with him in terms of potentially taking over the city in that storyline. It might motivate him to take over the city. It might give him like a, I hope not a fresh memory wipe kind of thing like he had with the stupid, you know, non-intelligence this season, which I didn't think that was stupid, but, you know, him being stupid. All I definitely want to say is that I don't want anything Indian Hill chemically wise, and I don't know if he actually died or not. I haven't like checked back at that scene. Did they actually die, or were they just kind of bleeding out and they were kind of stabilized, you know, as people are stabilized in a hospital, and Penguin was like, fix him, you know, patch him up, blah, blah, blah. Or were they actually dead? And then did they come back? I actually honestly don't know. I don't really care too much to delve into that myself. I don't want to go back and watch that and like look at it too much. Doesn't really matter to me as long as they don't, you know, Grundy him or Indian Hill monster him or anything like that. And I know that is ludicrous anyway. I don't think they would do that. But don't make his motivations purely based on whatever Hugo Strange makes him, you know, brings him back to life for. I just don't want that. Please, please, please. Kelvin Briggs asks, what happened to Jervis Tetch? 3 words, guys. Comic book logic. Wait, that's 2. No, comic book. Yeah, in my brain. But yes, if you're like a viewer of mine for a little while, you know I always like to preach comic book logic for plot holes and things like that. Or not necessarily plot holes, just things that you can't address necessarily because you have all these other things you have to fit in a story. And sometimes you introduce a lot of things in a show and you can't always fill every scene in, otherwise it will go over the hour slot on TV or whatever, right? So some things have to be sacrificed, namely like Jervis Tetch's explanation, Scarecrow, not Scarecrow, what am I on about? Echo is what I was meant to say. But I have to admit, I am surprised they didn't show Jervis Tetch in the last few scenes. For example, where Scarecrow was showing with his awesome hat, just showing how, like, you know, everyone was taking their sectors. I'm really surprised about the Mad Hatter. They didn't show him, did they? I'm pretty sure they didn't. Otherwise you wouldn't be asking me. But yes, what happened to him? He's just in a city somewhere. Just you have to imagine that until we get a concrete explanation. He just went off somewhere doing his own thing, planning the next thing, just what any villain would kind of do until next time. Nathaniel von Helm, I hope I pronounced it right. Will Bane appear in Gotham Season 5? Also Killer Croc. You know what? The amount of times I get asked about Bane, no, I would have to say no, unless they do that, like what I envision would be quite successful if they did like this time lapse almost of the city. And you know how they introduced the different villains at the end of Season 4? We saw like Scarecrow, we saw Firefly, we saw Freeze. In a way like that, but in between like this potential mini time jump. I could imagine like they could show the beginnings of like, I don't know, Viper turning into Venom-y kind of thing and some guy taking it, and like you can imagine that's a Bane-y kind of situation. I would only like it in that sense, but in terms of like a regular or like a 3-episode story arc on the show next season, no, not gonna happen. They don't have the time for that. There's a gazillion different things they have to fit in, so unfortunately not. Same with Killer Croc, I would have to bet. Be very surprised if they did fit it in. But also, I don't think Bane would work in Gotham. Not in this time era. Just story-wise, origin-wise. They could, you know, fit him in somehow. But I just, for me, I always say no to Bane. I just can't imagine it as much as people would love that. As I said, unless they what they teased in season 1 with Viper, you know, the prototype for Venom that Bane takes in the future, they do something in between Bruce, you know, his time jump in the last episode before he becomes Batman, because they are going full Batman this season, apparently. Jennifer Chapman, hi Boba. So at the end of the episode, we find out that Selina's spine is injured, like Barbara in The Killing Joke, and she's leaving Gotham with Alfred. Do you think it's possible that this injury may lead her final transformation in Catwoman? Maybe cats are going to help her heal. What are your thoughts? As for like the cats thingy helping her heal, I'm skipping to that. Just they might Easter eggy that kind of thing, but I don't think cats will like friggin' nurse her back to health. I know this show is kind of, you know, fantastically comic booky logic-y in a way, but cats aren't gonna do that, I don't think, unless, yeah, as I said, they're like creeping around wherever Alfred's keeping her. That would be pretty cool in a way, like how she was pushed out the window in the previous seasons. That was really, really cool. Can't remember right now, as I said, my memory. But yeah, I definitely think it will. She might have like this kind of moment that she's like, I'm gonna like get through this kind of thing. But I definitely that will lead her to a Catwoman kind of persona potentially, or like that, definitely down the path. But however, I definitely think, and this is what I was a little bit concerned about, they might actually be giving her a little bit of an Oracle-esque arc. Obviously, really not copy and pasted at all, so don't quote me on, you said Selina's going to have an Oracle arc. No, that's not what I mean. They're just borrowing a little element of that, of course, because they did the Killing Joke shoot, and she got shot. Her spine is now injured. Now, I'm wondering, will she help Bruce out a little bit with recon-y kind of stuff? Because he's really going to be going ham in season 5 with his Batmanhood, so, and then I'm wondering if she'll snap out of that. Obviously, it won't be very long since there's only 13 episodes, and I want to see her on her feet, walking about, doing a lot of Catwoman-y kind of things and developing into that. However, in terms of what you just said, maybe she'll, like, have this really emotional breakthrough moment. I can imagine it where she's, like, walking out the wheelchair and, like, she's, you know, getting there. They only have 13 episodes, and as I said this before, I don't know if fans will want her to be sat down a lot and not in the show as much. Only in comparison to what we have seen her been like in the show. She's going out there, being acrobatic and things like that. So I think that's what we need a little bit more of, rather than just nicking an Oracle arc and making her a bit mopey and stuff like that. I think that works, but don't drag it out, or maybe they might have already skipped it in the time jump. I'm not sure. Pizza Parker asks, where do you think Ivy is? Do you think she'll be in season 5? And what do you think about the news of Lady Shiva and Scarface being in season 5? Thanks for all the great videos. Thought season 4, Boba. For season 4, Boba. Thank you. Where do you think Ivy is? Again, comic book logic, exact same answer as Jervis Tetch, guys. God knows what she's up to, but just use your imagination, I guess. Another thing they couldn't afford too much of. Peyton List, probably busy, the actor behind it. I think she is even. Do I think she'll be in season 5? I actually don't really think so. I'm not entirely sure. I really wouldn't be surprised if she isn't. And as for a lot of people asking me these about what I think about the villains, I think it's awesome. I'm a bit worried about episode time and how much. I guess in a way they might make it think it's going to work, because Bruce is going to really come into his Batmanhood. The city is in a shit place, so they're really going to vamp it up with lots of new characters and faces coming out of, you know, the woodwork, with these, you know, villains coming out of the woodwork, taking advantage of the city, which is, it makes sense in a way. It's just, I really think they need more episodes. However, I'm going to do a separate video on the villains, so I'm going to reserve my thoughts specifically as to what I think of, you know, Mother, Orphan, and all these other characters. As you mentioned, Lady Shiva and Scarface coming into the show. So keep an eye out for that. As I said, guys, we're going to be doing plenty of Gotham videos until season 5. So Jack asks, with Man-Bat appearing in season 5, do you think it will serve as an inspiration for the Batman costume Bruce will one day wear, even if the show doesn't end it that way? No. That would be terrible in my opinion for Man-Bat. I'm not saying like what you're thinking of is terrible at all, but in my books, if Man-Bat inspired Bruce to be, you know, put the Batman emblem, the Bat emblem on his armor, that'd be ludicrous. I just think, no, I truly think as for Bruce's Bat emblem, I think, you know, he's with that vision, gave him a bit of context, and I think it's only going to improve upon that. I'm very interested to see how it develops into his ideology of, oh, I'm going to use a bat symbol, I'm going to be the Batman. But if he completely nicks that from, oh, hey, look at Man-Bat, hey, I'm going to nick that kind of, you know, star and put it on my arm. No, that would be, imagine that. Like, I don't think people would be happy at all. Enigma asks, where the heck is Zaz? Another thing people, unless I'm forgetting something, yeah, just doing something in this city somewhere. Cosmo Fate asks me, do you think Echo will become more like Harley Quinn? because of No Man's Land. Now, I really don't know about Echo, guys. The thing is, I don't think they should have necessarily introduced, especially as they said, we're not doing Harley Quinn in the show, and even though they're not, I think if things fly over people's heads all the time, I have to feel like I have to be very specific in what I say, because people will quote me. They are, but they aren't. She's not necessarily called Harleen or anything like that, and everyone's like, it's like, Harleen's a freaking doctor, they can change things up. But it's evident that they were freaking giving her the Harley costume-esque costume, the freaking symbols of Harley, everything like that. Proto-Harley, whatever you want to call it, prototype, blah, 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 blah. What I'm trying to say is I don't think they should have introduced her into the show with absolutely no context behind her other than, oh, I devoted my life to Jeremiah kind of thing. Well, that's what Jeremiah said. She's devoted her life to me. Apart from that, where has she been in certain moments, integral moments for Jeremiah? Do you know what I mean? That is a really big problem. I wanted some lines from her before the finale. However, I do try and put myself in the filmmaker's shoes, TV maker's shoes, in terms of how you can only fit so much on the screen. I've mentioned that in this Q&A already, so I get that. But maybe they should have sacrificed other screens or scenes that they shot for a little bit of Echo stuff. So I'm wondering, are they even going to use Echo next season? Maybe they will when Jeremiah's episodes come about again, if that's what we're getting. But if we do, we need some elaboration on that character. So as for your question, do I think she'll become more like Harley Quinn? I guess, maybe. But before any of that happens, I just need more. I need more from this character in terms of what her motivations are. Where was she? Why is she even here? Why is she sticking around with Jeremiah after this? Was he actually, was she fully aware of his inner monster beforehand and things like that? It's too much left unanswered. Midnight Sky 4 asks me, now that it's been revealed that Gotham will have its final season, do you think it's possible that the producers will just stick with Jeremiah as this show's version of the Joker? If so, do you think Jeremiah will undergo a second transformation to truly make him snap to who he's meant to be? First answer, no. Just no, unless they change their mind. I guess that's what you're saying. Now, people keep coming at me all the time after I made that Jeremiah is definitely not the Joker video. And I'm kind of going on a tangent now because I get people saying, what are you on about? I don't think people realize that I'm reading an article. This isn't me saying it. This is me reading out an article about what the freaking showrunner says. I'm just quoting it and then I give my opinion afterwards. And then people are like, you're wrong. It's like, well, I'm not wrong. I'm just reading out the thingy. So when I still say that Jeremiah isn't a Joker, I still get people saying he is the Joker. But then I just think to myself, how do people keep overlooking the fact that John Stevens, executive producer / showrunner of the freaking Gotham TV show, says, so with all of this being born out of the show and not being able to portray the real Joker, we also learned that, like, definitively, they're not allowed to use green hair, not allowed to use a Joker name. Stevens confirmed that neither Valeska is the true Joker, who will one day plague Batman. Quote unquote, Jeremiah is not the Joker, he said. The other characters are who they are, like Mad Hatter, Scarecrow, etc. But no, he isn't the Joker. What we've always gone with is that the Joker is somewhere out there, anonymous and unformed, and he's watching the actions of the Jeremiah and Jerome, and possibly even another one, on his, way somewhere down the line, and he's adopting them as inspirations as the person he'll one day become. Now, yes, I will say, some people say, but the producers change their mind all the time kind of thing. Look at how John Stevens, same guy, said Harley Quinn isn't coming to the show after he said that she would be in the season finale of season 3. Now, the reason why I said unless they change their mind is because for now, they're truly running. They are truly running with the storyline that they introduced in season 2. In the early episodes, do you remember when everyone was laughing at the TV screens after Jerome's death, and it was, your death will be madness and your legacy or madness. You know what I mean? So they technically have never lied. They've kept up their inspiration storyline, and it was their loophole of making the show a little bit more interesting by introducing that Joker mythos without introducing the actual Joker himself, but providing two characters who are very Joker-like, obviously, because they are the people who the Joker himself will mold himself after. So, of course, these characters will be AKA, or if not, like, Jokers, because, as I just said, he inspires himself after them. Now, the reason why I said if they change their mind is because a lot of fans are very adamant about that Jeremiah should, since they're leaving on the season 5, they may as well just make Cameron Monaghan, since we're not getting season 6, 7, 8, they may as well just leave that guy being the Joker. Now, Cameron Monaghan did come out and clarify after this, and I know I'm expanding a lot on this, but I guess I just wanted to say this again for people, is that it's up for you, the viewer, to decide. Now, this is what drives me insane a bit more. You have one actor saying that. You have the showrunner producer, which should be held a bit more seriously, and technically they aren't lying, because as I just said, they've held up what they've said since season 2. So it kind of causes this split and drama between the fan base. It's like, oh yeah, he is a Joker, no he isn't a Joker, oh F you Fox, or F you Gotham, blah blah blah, but it's not really their fault, it's Warner Brothers, you being stingy on a Joker's name. So do you know what I mean? So what I think they should do is not use the inspiration storyline, or maybe, you know, adapt that into how Jeremiah, you know, kind of is using Jerome's stuff, like leave it there, and since we're not getting any more, just let the viewer be open to, maybe Jeremiah will, after season 5, become that guy. Instead of what I just quoted to you from John Stevens, how there is a guy actually out there who used the Valeska twins as an inspiration, and they're not the guy who actually plagues and trolls Batman one day. There's another guy out there who is actually that John Doe Joker who, you know, as I just said, molds himself after him. So I know that was like a long-winded little ranty kind of response to your question. You know, you do think it's possible that producers would just stick with Jeremiah's show as the version of Joker? As I said, if they change their mind. If so, do you think Jeremiah will undergo a second transformation to truly make him snap? I really don't. I really think it's almost too little too late. Only because this interview only came out very recently. Unless they change their plans over the summer, because obviously they're writing Gotham at the minute. They're really getting ready, you know, for that season 5 production. Unless they dramatically change their minds like that now, they are going to stick to the inspiration storyline. But I think they should change their minds, because just let Jeremiah be the Joker that we imagine maybe one day will snap even further. You know, there's like 15, 20 plus years of fighting the Batman where he can develop into a bit more of a ha-ha, hoo-hee, ha-ha-ha on top of his chilling self. So yeah, like, I just don't get your hopes up, guys. Seriously. So Leanne1130 or Lian says, saw an article today that says the writers might incorporate the storyline of the new 52 Batman 0 year next season. What are your thoughts on this? So I actually got those two, the 0 year storyline in hardback comics versions over there, and the new 52, believe it or not, was when I seriously got into comics and really fanboyed out over this. And I guess people must think I've read comics all my life, and in a way I have when I was like very young, Daredevil and stuff, but I only really got into it like when the new 52 came out. I was like 17, 18 or something. So I actually really like that storyline, and I think it does make sense. I don't understand some people don't think it makes sense, because it is a very Batman newbie-esque, you know, he's not in his proper armor kind of thing. I don't think, and people need to remember, they're not going to copy and paste this shit. They're going to loosely adapt it. It's going to be like their inspiration, you know, they're not going to copy it. Bruce isn't going to be in his bat ears and then going around with a Batman t-shirt, I don't think. I mean, who knows? Because that's what it's kind of like in 0 years, like a grapple hook. He doesn't have a freaking grapple gun all the time, if I remember correctly. So, and you know, the Riddler is a very big part in that. So maybe that's why I mentioned what I said about the Riddler earlier. What do I feel about this? I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And it makes sense. 0 year after all. And this is their 0 year in Gotham TV show. They said they're going to go really far with Harvey Mazouz, really push his character Bruce Wayne to become the Batman. I think it's a bit premature in a way, unless they pull it off. I've only said this in the sense of a 17-year-old in an Arkham Knight plated Batman armor in Bruce Wayne who's 18 years old. I just don't, nothing against Harvey Mazouz at all. So I kind of want a little bit of a time jump, or maybe I'll be fine if it's very, very prototypey Batman armor by the end of this season. They don't put him in full bulky Ben Affleck armor kind of thing. I want them to noob him out a little bit with the bat emblem, and then maybe do a little Smallville run, not like the Superman run, but you know what I mean. Maybe have the bat armor like on a Dark Knight Rises, you know, suit holder or something like that in his father's, Thomas Wayne's proto bat room, bat cave. That's what I want to see. But apparently they are going full ham on Batman, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm going off topic now. So as for the 0 year, I want them to blend in the Batman arc with the newbiness of the Batman armor instead of going a fully fledged actual caped crusader. I think it's a bit too premature. So how to do everything asks, what happened to Jeremiah's hair? It just turned black one episode with no explanation. So do you remember when he's like wiping the makeup off? And then underneath he had the stained skin, which was awesome. And then like he had the suit. And then, but what I think happened when you saw him in Echo, just with his hair like this, saw all the bombs there, he didn't like wash out like the hair dye that he had. So what he did behind the scenes, between the episodes, comic book logic, before we saw Jeremiah again with his blacky, purpley kind of hair, it's just after, you know, he put some water through it and then came out his actual hair color that changed him after he had the insanity gas. But obviously in the graveyard, it's not like he had some water on hand to, you know, also get out the gingery kind of color that he had in his hair, or brown, that Jeremiah had before the insanity gas took effect, you know, like that kind of look. Josh Green asks, is Professor Pig dead? No, I would have to say no. I choose to believe not. I thought if Gotham got a few more seasons or anything like that, season 5 full episode order, we would have seen him again, maybe. He's Michael Cerverus, but no. I choose to believe, especially with all that titanium plating had in his face and stuff, and he happens to get shot in the head. Freaking Sophia Falcone survives a freaking headshot. No, of course he's not dead. This is Gotham as well. But anyway, guys, I think that is enough questions with my long explanations and, you know, how I love to go in depth on everything anyway. So I think this video is long enough. I will be planning on doing more of these amongst other Gotham videos, so do not worry. There is more time for your other questions to be answered. I've got quite a few saved, and I'll be continuing to post new community posts in my community section of my YouTube channel where you can submit more, and I'll let you know one way or another how to do that. Other than that, guys, I just thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you're brand new, and if you like this video, why not hit that like button, because it really does help this video out. It helps it get spread a little bit more around and everything good like that. I want to say thank you to my patrons, of course. If you're curious what my Patreon offers or what even is Patreon, head to the top link in my description. It's a place where you can pledge and help fuel the content that I create on this channel in return for some rewards. Apart from that, I have other links in my description, such as my social media. I recommend following me on Twitter. I have a Discord server. Link to that server, the invite to that server is in the description. Join the Boba family there. We talk outside this channel, outside these YouTube videos on Discord, so please join us. It's really, really fun over there. Apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for 20k as well. Keep an eye out for that video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.